Book The Assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. by Ida Walker. In credits, it's written, published by ABDO Publishing Company. Then it is, the editor is Rebecca Rowell and copy editor Paula Lewis. Interior design and production Emily Love. Cover design Emily Love. That's the ISBN for you, and this comes under the essential library. So biographies, historic events, and current debates are all an essential part of the curriculum. Readers can meet these needs with the essential library. The essential library is a well-researched, well-written and beautifully designed imprint created specifically for the middle and school reader. So these are the research tools that they've written. Ada Walker is the author of several non-fiction books for middle grade and young adult readers. Her special interest is the civil rights movement of the 1960s, and she has visited many of the locations of the memorable events of the movement. So that is about the author. There's this quote by Robert F. Kennedy on announcing the death of King. Martin Luther King dedicated his life to love and to justice between fellow human beings. He died in the cause of that effort. In this difficult day, it's perhaps well to ask what kind of a nation we are and what direction we want to move in. For those of you who are black, you can be filled with bitterness and with hatred and a desire for revenge. We can move in that direction as a country in greater polarization, black people amongst blacks and white amongst whites, filled with hatred towards one another. Or we can make an effort as King did to understand, comprehend, and replace that violence across our land with an effort to understand compassion and love. What a thought. In 1964, he was awarded the Nobel Prize for Peace in December 1964. That's what he's holding. That's his photograph. That was for his non-violent protest for civil rights. And he donated his prize winnings to the movement. That's Dr. Martin Luther King with his Nobel Peace Prize. Martin Luther King Jr.'s iconic I Have a Dream speech was delivered on August 28, 1963 at the Lincoln Memorial at Washington, D.C. during the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. And this is what he said in his speech. He emphasized the need for immediate action to achieve racial equality, stating, "Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy." In his speech, if you hear, he highlights the struggles faced by African Americans, including poverty, segregation, and police brutality, saying, "We cannot be satisfied as long as we are victims of the unspeakable horrors of police brutality." His speech is famous for its repetition of "I have a dream," where he envisions a future with racial equality and harmony, stating, "I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin," etc. What an impact his speech had. The speech, "I Have a Dream," played a significant role in the civil rights movement, inspiring millions to work towards racial equality and justice. It is the most remarkable, influential speech in American history. And just to quote a few lines, 50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. Then we hold these truths to be self-evident and that all men are created equal. And then he went on to say, let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And then he says, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last. These are the table of contents. I'm reading from page 10. King admired the work of Mahatma Mohandas Gandhi, who believed in peaceful protest. Following Gandhi's example, King preached non-violence. His campaign of civil disobedience brought him thousands of followers. So he writes, the modern idea of civil disobedience was developed by author Henry David Thoreau in his 1949 Resistance to Civil Government, which is better known as civil disobedience, a form of protest against slavery and the Mexican-American War. Thoreau refused to pay taxes, a violation of federal law, and was jailed. So King lived with racism as a child, witnessing firsthand the social injustice of segregation. Growing up, he realized the importance of economic equality. After college and graduate school, King worked as a minister. He preached about civil rights and encouraged people to become members of the National Association for Advancement of Colored People, NAACP. The more voices behind the movement, the stronger the movement would be over time. And with his conviction, King's voice became stronger. He became the spokesperson for the movement. In one of his speeches, he says that a life's blueprint should be a deep belief in your own dignity and somebodyness. And he said, some way you must be able to say it and believe it. And he went on to say, I'm black but beautiful. He really had a way. Great orator, I must say. A great book to be read.